Okay. This is interesting. So, you guys remember... Do you guys remember Teal Deer? The, that YouTuber that, like, used to do the, like, anti-SJW, anti-feminism videos back in, like, 2016? And that was, like, and that was what he did, and now he's literally a Nazi? Like, for real. Like, for real now. He's like a legit Nazi now. Eugenics doesn't care about your feelings. YouTube Corona Defense Force. Eugenics doesn't care about your feelings. The real horror happening in China. YouTube cancer and chemo. Busting my nut over No Nut November. Okay. Yeah, the dude's like an actual white nationalist now, apparently. And he made a video. That I'll go ahead and I'll show the thumbnail for if I can. But YouTube has this autoplay feature that's super fucking annoying, so I can't open the thumbnail in a, open image new tab. There we go. Let's get a look at this thumbnail. How BLM started a new race war. Jesus Christ, Billy Drillkill. Now, I usually don't read donations during a video, but holy fuck. Thank you so much for the $100 donation. Jesus! There should be an NB Furry Gang emo. I'm gonna have to make one if you keep on donating, my dude. Tell you what, I'll use that $100 you just gave me to commission an artist to make a bunch of emotes, and I'll make sure that at least one of those emotes is an NB Furry Gang. It'll be like a furry, like a little furry character that'll have the non-binary flag colors dyed in its hair. Thank you so much, though, seriously, for the $100. It is very much appreciated. But let's get back to the topic. I gotta stop pogging for a moment so we can talk about what we need to talk about. How BLM started a new race war. So the idea that the BLM protests and the things that they're marching for is a race war, or it's black versus white, literally, is just untrue. And it's a far-right talking point. There's a very explicit message behind BLM and what they're advocating for. And it is specifically about police brutality and injustice within our system towards black people, which is undeniable. This is academically studied and confirmed. Like, there's no debate about this in the in like the academic community. Oh, I'll do that, Vermin. I'll do that. Thank you. Yeah. So let's get into it, I suppose. Like, this video is only 2 minutes long, too. Is he just going to show, like, a bunch of clips without saying anything? I assume that's what he's going to do. He's going to get banned from YouTube for this, by the way, which I hope will happen, because this guy is a piece of shit, and his existence on the platform makes it measurably worse.
In the year 1900, 120 years ago, the famous elk statue was erected on Main Street in downtown Portland. Today it was removed after it was damaged from a fire during last night's demonstrations. Jennifer Dowling taking a look back at one of Portland's earliest pieces of public art. Jennifer?
Hold on. Is this about to be what I think it's going to be? Is this going to be like Brittany Venti's Pitbull video? Do you guys, because this is something that far-right people do a lot because they know they'll get banned if they're too mask off about it. Brittany Venti once did a video that was literally about dog whistling for eugenics, or for race realism, like with the warrior gene and all that, and black people. Only she replaced black people with pit bulls, and talked about how pit bulls are bad because they were bred to be violent fighting dogs. Now, even if you take away the fact that she was dog whistling for black people, and just acknowledge the arguments she was making about pit bulls, even that you could take apart a shit ton. I think Big Joel did a really good video debunking it. It might have been Jose. I get the two of them mixed up, because, like, the color format of their thing. But that you can take apart plenty. But she did a whole video that was basically about race realism and the warrior gene, but she replaced black people with pit bulls. Now, this video is called The Fire Rises #DLM, and has #Dear Lives Matter in the description. I have a feeling he is going to dog whistle for BLM being bad and some kind of race war happening because some protesters destroyed a deer statue, and his thing's like a deer and it's Dear Lives Matter. Is that what he's about to do? Let's see. Prepare your Xander gods. Load him up.
Over the past couple nights, fires have burned near the elk statue on Southwest Maine. Of late, it's been a place for people to gather for demonstrations near the Justice Center. The charred and crumbling base, due to heat from fires and other activity, has caused the Regional Arts and Culture Council to remove it for public safety reasons.
It's been such an iconic, historic piece of like my daily events for years, and seeing that come down is kind of sad.
Heidi Doe says the landscape will look completely different without it.
And it was sort of the focal point as you're walking through that park area and
What was the statue for? I'm curious. God, what sick imagery, Xander Hall? Yeah, wait, can we talk about this? Wait, okay. You know what this scene kind of reminds me of? The stag with the fire burning. Honestly, this is what we need more of. Statues like this that have a man-built fire pit around it. How cool would it be if instead of this being like some kind of fountain, if instead they had an actual like 24/7 burning fire in this? How fucking cool would that look? Like, tell me this doesn't look cool. You know what this reminds me of? Fuck. What was the movie called? Shit. It was the movie where like the college guys go on a trip to Norway, up into the woods, and like the demigod deer creature is hunting them. Fuck, what's it called? What's it called? Someone in chat has to know. Someone in chat has to know. The Ritual. It kind of gives me the vibes. This is the thumbnail from like the Ending Explained video on it. This is the kind of vibe that the burning elk statue gives me. So I'm talking about? Know what I mean? Am I the only one getting that vibe? I don't know, I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting the vibe. Alright. Let's go.
it was sort of the focal point as you're walking through that park area, and to have that gone, it's just going to leave a really big empty spot.
The elk has stood here for around 120 years, a gift from former Portland Mayor David P. Thompson in 1900. He wanted a landmark downtown that would serve as a water source for the residents and their animals. The regional...
Should I look into what the elk statue is all about? Should I look into it and like find out like what the story is behind it? Because I feel like generally these protesters have been destroying like statues and property when there's something bad about it. Let's see. BLM elk statue. Also, they didn't even destroy it. They just kind of burned fire in the pit around it, and then they had like the government had the statue removed. Let's see. So everything that comes up when I look it up. So I looked up BLM elk statue. And I see iconic, we see KTVZ as the first thing to come up. Then YouTube, Antifa set elk statue on fire. A BitChute video by probably some Nazi. SarahPalin.com. Nation and State. Twitter. Twitchy. This seems like the least Nazi-esque news outlet that's talked about this. Here, let's sort by news, maybe. Did this even happen? Here's a German website. Wait, was it just so not even worth talking about that they just removed... Because the statue didn't even get destroyed, they just removed the statue. So there must have been so little damage caused to it that it wasn't even worth talking about for any other media source other than like anti-left like fasci sites like SarahPalin.com.
Arts and Culture Council talked to Ken Boddy about its history in 2015.
The idea of providing an open fountain where you could stop, pause, water your horses was one of the inspirations, and he was also inspired by the elk that used to come down from the West Hills to graze here.
The Thompson Elk is surrounded by 2 public squares and has served as a gathering place for several other demonstrations, including Occupy Portland.
Demonstrator was critically injured when she was struck by a deer. This is video tweeted out right before the accident. The woman was marching with a group on a highway in South Brunswick, New Jersey. The deer darted into the crowd, leaving her with a...
So he's doing exactly what I thought. Xander God's in chat. So what he's doing right now is he knows that he'll probably get in some trouble if he comes right out like anti-BLM, right? Because this is, you know, predictable right now. He uploaded this video in the wake of Stefan Molyneux getting banned after trying to justify Ahmed Aubrey and Aubrey's death first, and then like basically every other black person that's been killed by the police these last few weeks. It's been quite a few of them these last few weeks, believe it or not. And then like condemning BLM. So I'm pretty sure he's afraid he'll get banned. So now he's doing like the, see, I'm against BLM, but I'm gonna say it by uploading some videos of like deer getting burned or deer doing things bad to BLM, and that's sort of like me saying, haha, BLM bad. Oh boy.
Serious head wound. The victim, 69 years old, currently in intensive care. A couple of other people also had less serious injuries. They were treated at the scene. The deer
69
immediately ran off.
And that's all it is. So I think this is actually a good place to talk about dog whistling and the far right, because this is actually relevant to how Nazis are going to have to survive on this platform now, believe it or not. What was the purpose of that video? Most of TLDR's videos are him talking and explaining a topic and giving his opinion on it. What was the purpose of that video? It was nothing but two stories about a deer-related thing involving BLM, and that's it. That's all that was. Why did he make that video, do you think? Well, it's dog whistling. And the funny thing is, this is what these people have to do from now on. Because if they come out as Nazis, or as anti-BLM or anti-progressiveness in any way, they get banned. Well, to be fair, that you can be anti-progressive. It's just like, if you're too open with the Nazi shit, then you'll get banned. You know, I mean, Stefan Molyneux, it took a long time for him to get banned. Who else got banned recently? Atheism is Unstoppable got banned after wearing, like, in his videos, his avatar literally wears a shirt that says the Central Park Five were deserve to be killed, or were guilty or whatever. They deserve the death penalty and should have been killed. Like, okay. So now that they realize that YouTube's cracking down on them, they've got to hide it more. And they have to do the, oh yeah, Black Pigeon Speaks has been shadow banned. Not fully banned, just shadow banned. So these people have to be way more dog whistly with their shit, or they're banished to the far ends of the internet to be to like irrelevancy. They end up having to go to BitChute or DLive or Telegram, and they end up like Milo, who can barely afford to pay his rent. Because he has no payment processors that are willing to take payments and give him money. There's just no payment processors that'll take their money. It's hilarious. So yeah, this is something we got to keep an eye out for from now on. I was hoping for some actual arguments in this video, but TLDR is like too much of a coward to actually come up with his opinions on this. So yeah, keep an eye out for this kind of shit. Far right people are gonna do like the dog whistly stuff from now on. That seems to be what they're going for. So yeah. Keep an eye out for it.